Tonight, we're going to explore a question so profound, so unsettling, that once you truly understand it, the night sky may never feel the same again. The Fermi Paradox. You've heard the idea before, maybe in a documentary, maybe in a headline, maybe in a late-night conversation about aliens. But here's what most people never fully grasp. When you comprehend what this paradox truly implies, when you understand the scale of the galaxy, the age of the universe, and the sheer probability that life should exist everywhere, you begin to realize something deeply unnerving. The Milky Way is ancient, billions of years older than humanity. Countless civilizations could have risen, expanded, flourished, and vanished long before Earth existed. With so much time, with so many worlds, with so much potential for biology and intelligence, the galaxy should not be quiet. It should be filled with movement, with signals, with artifacts, evidence of species far older and more advanced than we could imagine. And yet, we hear nothing. Not a whisper, not a flicker, not a single unmistakable sign of another mind in the cosmos. This silence is not ordinary. It is not peaceful. It is not comforting. It is a silence that asks a question we are not prepared to answer. If the universe is capable of producing civilizations everywhere, why do we seem to be the only ones? Before we go deeper, if you enjoy these explorations into cosmic mysteries and the unsettling truths behind our place in the universe, a quick like or subscribe really helps the channel grow. And if you tap the notification bell, you won't miss the next journey into the unknown. Now, let's step into the heart of the paradox. The Milky Way is not empty. It is overflowing with stars, roughly 400 billion of them, and around those stars orbit trillions of planets. Some are infernos of molten rock, some are icy distant spheres. But a staggering number of them lie in the narrow, temperate zones where liquid water can exist. Worlds with oceans, atmospheres, climates, and chemistry similar to Earth. When astronomers first discovered planets beyond our solar system, the assumption was simple. Earth must be rare, unique. But that idea evaporated almost immediately. Instead, the galaxy turned out to be a planetary factory, producing worlds in every size and configuration imaginable. The ingredients for life, water, organic molecules, complex chemistry, are everywhere. And the galaxy is old. So old that if intelligent life emerged on just a tiny fraction of these planets, even a million years ahead of us, they would have had more than enough time to spread across the entire Milky Way. A civilization doesn't need warp drives or cosmic shortcuts. Slow-moving probes hopping from star to star could fill the galaxy in a fraction of its lifetime. By all logic, by all probability, by every mathematical model ever constructed, the Milky Way should be alive with civilizations. We should see colossal structures harvesting starlight. We should detect engineered signals. We should find evidence of ancient starfarers. We should see signs of activity in every direction, but instead, when we look out, we see nothing. Humanity has been listening to the cosmos for nearly a century. Our radio telescopes sweep across the sky, capturing the hiss of background radiation, the echoes of distant stars, the faint electromagnetic footprints of the universe itself. But amid all that natural noise, there is one thing we have never detected: unmistakable signs of technology. A single advanced civilization would produce radio leakage detectable across light years. Communication systems, navigation signals, industrial activity, the electromagnetic chatter of a technological world. Earth itself has been broadcasting such signals unintentionally for decades, creating a bubble of detectable activity, expanding outward at the speed of light. But when we search for similar bubbles, there are none. No artificial transmissions, no encoded messages, no repeating beacons, no cosmic engineering that stands out from nature. The universe behaves exactly as it would if intelligence had never arisen anywhere at all. This silence is not trivial. It is not ambiguous. It is overwhelming. If millions of civilizations existed across the galaxy, their presence should be obvious. Instead, the cosmos presents us with a vast emptiness, one that deepens the more precisely we listen. The absence of evidence is not simply a lack of data. It is the defining feature of the paradox. The most straightforward explanation for the silence is also the most sobering. Maybe life itself is extraordinarily rare. Maybe Earth is not one world among many, but an anomaly, a statistical outlier in a galaxy filled with sterile planets. The emergence of life may require an almost impossible chain of events, chemical reactions that occur only under precise conditions, environmental stability lasting billions of years, a series of evolutionary breakthroughs that happened once, here, and nowhere else. Even if the galaxy is overflowing with habitable worlds, they may lack that final spark, whatever it was that transformed Earth from a world of oceans and minerals into a world of cells, metabolism, and replication. If this is true, then the silence is not a mystery. It is a reflection of our solitude, a reminder that the universe may be indifferent to the concept of life, producing it only in rare, fragile pockets that seldom endure. In this view, humanity is not a latecomer to a crowded galaxy. We are a lone flicker of consciousness in a vast, indifferent wilderness. The paradox becomes less of a question and more of a revelation. We are alone, because no one else ever appeared. If the universe is not empty, and life does not form easily, then another possibility rises to dominate the conversation: the existence of a barrier, a point in the evolutionary timeline that few, if any, species ever pass. This idea is known as the Great Filter, a stage so difficult, so destructive, or so improbable that it halts civilizations long before they become visible on a galactic scale. The filter could lie at any point in the chain, from simple chemistry to advanced intelligence. Perhaps the emergence of the first self-replicating molecules is incredibly rare. Perhaps multicellular life almost never evolves. Perhaps intelligence is not the natural outcome of evolution, but an anomaly driven by unique environmental pressures found on Earth and nowhere else. The filter could also be technological. Civilizations might reach a certain point: industrialization, global communication, rapid innovation, and then collapse under forces they create themselves. Resource scarcity, war, environmental instability, or cascading technological accidents could wipe out societies before they ever develop the means to leave their planets. Cosmic phenomena offer another path to extinction. A civilization might be destroyed by events far beyond its control: a nearby supernova, an unexpected asteroid impact, or climate shifts that unfold faster than a species can adapt. If such filters are common, then most civilizations never achieve interstellar travel, leaving the galaxy quiet even if life begins on many worlds. A species may rise briefly into awareness, build cities, create tools, and then disappear, its voice extinguished before it ever reaches the stars. In this view, silence is the natural result of a universe filled with beginnings, but almost no continuations. Another explanation for the silence does not rely on extinction or rarity, but on caution. The dark forest hypothesis imagines the galaxy as a place where civilizations exist, but remain deliberately hidden. Each one is isolated, aware that it is not alone, yet unable to trust the intentions of others. A species that broadcasts its presence could draw attention from civilizations with unknown motivations. Even a peaceful society might pose a future threat simply by expanding. In a galaxy where distances are vast and communication is slow, misunderstandings could become irreversible. Precaution becomes the logical stance. In this framework, civilizations avoid broadcasting signals. They minimize their visible energy output. They build systems that do not shine brightly on the electromagnetic spectrum. They silence themselves not out of fear, but out of pragmatism. The safest stance is anonymity. Earth, by contrast, has been transmitting powerful radio waves for a century. Radar systems, communication satellites, and television broadcasts have radiated outward at the speed of light, signaling our existence in all directions. These signals may appear faint against the cosmic background, but they are not perfectly hidden. If the galaxy contains cautious civilizations, they would observe those emissions. They would note our presence from afar, evaluate it, and choose how or whether to respond. The lack of a reply would not indicate emptiness, but restraint. In the dark forest scenario, silence is not an absence of life. Silence is a strategy. A different perspective suggests that advanced civilizations remain silent, not because they fear others, but because they choose to observe without influencing. Known as the cosmic zoo hypothesis, this idea imagines humanity as part of a natural experiment unfolding on a small blue world orbiting an ordinary star. In this scenario, extraterrestrial civilizations might have discovered Earth long ago. They may have detected its atmosphere, its biosignatures, and eventually the sudden rise of technology. But instead of initiating contact, they allow the planet's species to evolve independently. Interference could alter our trajectory, shaping our culture or development in ways that compromise the experiment. Just as humans observe animals in reserves without disrupting their natural behavior, advanced civilizations might apply the same principle on a cosmic scale. Their technology would allow them to remain entirely undetected. Probes could observe Earth from distances we cannot easily scan. Monitoring devices could hide in the outer solar system, passively collecting data across centuries. From our perspective, it appears as silence, but it is a silence shaped by intention rather than absence, a distant, watchful quiet. In this view, humanity is not isolated because the galaxy is empty, nor because civilizations are extinguished before reaching the stars, but because a decision has been made to let us develop without guidance. The universe, in this light, becomes a place where intelligence exists, but chooses to remain unseen. Not every civilization, even if it survives long enough to thrive, will develop the ability to travel beyond its home world. Interstellar travel is not a natural extension of technology. It is a monumental leap that requires breakthroughs far beyond anything humans have achieved. The physics involved are unforgiving, and the energy demands enormous. Even a society that masters electricity, computing, or nuclear power may find the gulf between stars impossible to bridge. A species might also face limitations imposed by its environment. A world covered in dense clouds or thick ice could hide the stars entirely, preventing astronomical awareness from ever forming. A civilization dwelling beneath oceans or living in subterranean habitats may never build telescopes. Without a sky to study, the idea of other worlds might never arise. Their technology could advance in entirely different directions, optimized for their specific environment rather than for cosmic exploration. Cultural factors can create their own barriers. A civilization may decide that space travel is unnecessary, undesirable, or even dangerous. Its values could prioritize equilibrium over expansion or spirituality over exploration. Stability might triumph over ambition. Even with the necessary knowledge, they may choose to remain rooted to their home world. In this interpretation of the silence, the galaxy could be full of intelligent life, species that think, create, and innovate, yet remain bound to their planets. They never develop the tools or the desire to leave. Their voices never extend beyond their skies. Their stories remain confined to their own horizons. The stars remain distant, not because they are unreachable, but because no one reaches for them. Another possibility behind the cosmic silence is the simple fragility of civilization. Even if life evolves often, even if intelligence emerges repeatedly across the galaxy, the window in which a species is detectable may be incredibly short. Civilizations might rise, flourish, and decline rapidly compared to cosmic timescales, leaving only faint, transient traces of their existence. Technological progress may outpace the ability of societies to manage it responsibly. Advances in industry, communication, and energy production can lead to prosperity, but they also introduce vulnerabilities. Ecological collapse, global conflict, and resource depletion can set civilizations on paths toward instability. Complex societies may be inherently difficult to sustain over long periods, especially when they rely on finite resources or fragile global systems. Natural forces can be equally devastating. Planetary climates fluctuate, supervolcanoes erupt, asteroids impact, stellar activity intensifies. A single catastrophic event may undo millennia of progress, pushing a civilization back to a pre-technological state or erasing it entirely. On cosmic scales, such collapses could occur frequently, forming a cycle of rise and fall repeated across countless worlds. In this scenario, the galaxy may be filled with the remnants of civilizations that shone briefly before fading. Their signals would be rare, their achievements fleeting, and their visibility short-lived. By the time another species emerges and begins listening, those traces have already dissipated into the background noise of the cosmos. The silence in this light is not surprising. It is simply the gap between civilizations that never overlap in time. There is also the possibility that advanced civilizations exist, but their evolution carries them into forms we cannot detect or understand. As technology develops, it tends to become more efficient, more compact, and less energy-intensive. A society transitioning from physical machines to digital systems, or from biological bodies to synthetic forms, might eventually produce almost no detectable electromagnetic emissions. Their infrastructure could be built at scales invisible to our instruments. Their communication networks might use physics we have not yet discovered, quantum entanglement, exotic particles, or gravitational encoding. What we consider signals may be meaningless to them, just as radio waves would be unrecognizable to civilizations limited to chemical senses or sonar-based communication. Such species might also shift their priorities inward rather than outward. Instead of expanding through physical space, they may develop virtual realities indistinguishable from physical existence. They might choose introspection over colonization, immersion over exploration. A civilization living primarily in digital or simulated worlds would have little reason to alter the galaxy in ways we could observe. Even their physical footprint could vanish. They may abandon large-scale engineering, dismantle visible structures, or migrate to environments where their energy signatures blend seamlessly with natural phenomena. Their activity would disappear into the noise of stars, dust, and radiation. In this interpretation, the galaxy is not empty. It is simply filled with forms of intelligence that no longer leave traces we recognize. Their silence is not absence. It is transformation. Some worlds nurture life, but never long enough for it to flourish. The universe is filled with catastrophic forces capable of extinguishing biology as quickly as it appears. A planet may experience a promising beginning, oceans forming, chemistry stirring, ecosystems taking shape, only to be undone by events far beyond its control. A single asteroid impact can sterilize a world. A supervolcano can plunge it into centuries of darkness. A solar flare can strip away an atmosphere. A shifting orbit can transform a once habitable planet into a frozen wasteland. Even the galaxy itself poses risks. Supernovae erupt, gamma-ray bursts sweep across space, and violent gravitational interactions destabilize entire star systems. Life may take root repeatedly across the Milky Way, only to be snuffed out before it ever develops complexity. A species might rise from microbes to multicellular forms, then vanish in a geological instant. Worlds full of thriving ecosystems might never reach the threshold where intelligence emerges. Their timelines end early, leaving behind no trace that could ever be detected from afar. In this view, the silence of the galaxy reflects the fragility of biological evolution. Life may bloom often, but survival over cosmic timescales is rare. The stars may be filled with countless worlds that almost produced civilizations, planets whose futures were erased by forces they never had the chance to understand. The quiet sky becomes a testament to everything that might have been, but never was. Another possibility is that humanity is among the first civilizations to emerge in the Milky Way. Stars like our Sun are relatively young compared to the oldest in the galaxy. Many early stars lacked the heavy elements required to build complex planets, let alone biology. Only after billions of years of stellar evolution did the galaxy become enriched with the metals, minerals, and chemistry needed for life to flourish. If this enrichment process is only now reaching maturity, then intelligent life may be just beginning to appear across the galaxy. Civilizations could be in their infancy, developing tools, studying their skies, discovering the laws of nature for the first time. If most of these species are thousands or millions of years behind us, then their signals have not yet reached space. Their voices, if they exist, are still forming. In this scenario, humanity is not alone because intelligence is rare or doomed, but because the cosmic timeline has only recently allowed civilizations to emerge. The galaxy is not silent because no one exists, but because almost everyone is still young. The vast, empty-feeling universe is simply the result of being early in a long story. From this perspective, the quiet is not a warning, nor a mystery. It is the natural sound of a galaxy in its early stages of awakening. The silence is temporary, not eternal, and our place in the cosmos becomes that of a pioneer rather than a survivor. The Fermi Paradox leaves humanity standing before a universe that refuses to explain itself. The stars stretch across the sky in every direction, countless and ancient, yet none reveal the unmistakable presence of another intelligence. The quiet is total, it is vast, it is unbroken by any signal we can confidently identify as artificial. That silence does not tell us why the galaxy appears empty. It does not clarify whether life is scarce, whether civilizations fall quickly, or whether intelligence becomes something unrecognizable. It simply confronts us with a reality that we cannot ignore. The cosmos offers no clear indication that anyone else is out there. Understanding this silence forces us to examine our own existence. Humanity becomes the only example we can study, the only case available to understand the nature of intelligence in the universe. Whether we are unusual or typical remains unknown. Whether civilizations endure or vanish remains unknown. The night sky provides no guidance, no comparison, no pattern to follow. What the silence does give us is a reminder of scale. Our species is small, our signals are young, our reach is limited to the space around our star. The galaxy is enormous, beyond comprehension, and the distances between its worlds are so great that even the presence of other civilizations might remain concealed for ages. The quiet of the universe does not answer the paradox, it simply frames the question. And within that question lies the measure of where we stand. A technological species on a single planet, looking outward, searching for signs of others, and finding only the echo of its own uncertainty. For now, the silence is all we have. It surrounds our world, fills the void between the stars, and shapes the mystery that will follow humanity as long as we continue to listen.